Is your liver in trouble? The number one hidden sign you need to know? The silent epidemic is here, and it's hitting our bodies where it hurts most, the liver. Cases of fatty liver disease are skyrocketing, paralleling the global rise in obesity and type 2 diabetes. But what if I told you the traditional signs of liver damage are often too late? Today we're diving deep into the absolute first sign your liver might be under distress, a sign most people completely miss. When we think of liver problems, images of jaundice, abdominal pain or swollen legs often come to mind. These are indeed serious symptoms, but here's the critical point. They only appear when your liver has sustained substantial damage and its function is significantly reduced. By then, you're playing catch-up. Instead, we need a new approach. We need to identify the earliest indicator, the whisper before the shout. To do that, we first need to understand the most common liver culprit, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, or NAFLD. Historically, a fatty liver was primarily associated with heavy alcohol consumption. But a shocking shift occurred. Doctors began seeing fatty livers in people who didn't drink excessively or at all. This led to the term non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. More recently, it's been rebranded as metabolic-associated fatty liver disease, or MAFLD, a much more accurate description given its true root cause. You might be surprised by its prevalence. Globally, over 1/3 of the entire adult population, that's nearly 2 billion people, are living with fatty liver disease. And the numbers aren't just increasing, they're rising exponentially. This isn't just a health concern, it's a massive burden on healthcare systems worldwide. This explosion of fatty liver disease runs hand in hand with the epidemic of obesity and, crucially, type 2 diabetes. Here's why that connection is so vital. Type 2 diabetes is a modern disease. It barely existed 200 years ago. What was once thought of as a Western problem is now a global crisis, with countries like Pakistan, Kuwait and Egypt showing alarmingly high rates, some exceeding 30% of their adult population. Even tropical islands, traditionally known for healthy diets rich in natural fruits and fish, are now experiencing soaring rates. What changed? The introduction of heavily processed foods. White sugar, white bread, cereals and refined seed oils. These are the insults that tip the scales, even for populations genetically adapted to higher carbohydrate intake from whole, real foods. When you add processed carbs to the mix, the body simply can't cope. If you've developed type 2 diabetes, your body's carbohydrate processing machine is essentially broken. You've become carbohydrate intolerant, and to reverse this you must drastically reduce all sugars, fruits and refined carbohydrates. Directly diagnosing a fatty liver typically involves an invasive liver biopsy, which isn't ideal. An ultrasound can give an approximation, but it's not always precise. So, what's a better, more accessible indicator? It's called the Fatty Liver Index. It's a simple calculation you can do online with just 4 pieces of information. Your body mass index, BMI, which combines your height and weight, your waist circumference, the measurement around your waist, a liver enzyme from your blood test called GGT, gamma-glutamyl transferase, your triglycerides level from your blood test, a strong indicator of insulin resistance. You can find online calculators for the fatty liver index. A score under 30 means it's highly unlikely you have a fatty liver. A score between 30 and 60 is inconclusive, suggesting you might need further investigation. But if your score is over 60, it's highly probable you have fatty liver disease. Now let's connect the dots. The strongest driving factor behind all these issues, obesity, type 2 diabetes, high triglycerides and fatty liver disease, is insulin resistance. Think of insulin resistance as your body's adaptation to being constantly overwhelmed by too much sugar, refined carbohydrates and processed foods. Your cells, fed up with the constant influx of fuel, start to resist insulin's attempts to deliver more. The good news: if you remove these harmful factors, particularly processed sugars, white flour and seed oils, and shift to real, whole foods like quality meats, leafy greens, eggs and non-starchy vegetables, your body can begin to reverse this adaptation. Countless people have seen dramatic improvements by making these simple yet profound dietary changes. So, if insulin resistance drives fatty liver disease, what's the earliest, most subtle sign of insulin resistance itself? While basic blood glucose and hemoglobin A1C, a 3 to 4 month average of blood glucose, are important, they often don't tell the full story, because your body works incredibly hard to keep blood sugar stable, even when it's struggling. Other useful markers from your blood work include total cholesterol divided by HDL. Cholesterol. A high ratio can indicate inflammation and insulin resistance. Triglycerides divided by HDL cholesterol, another strong indicator. Liver enzymes, ALT and GGT. While these can indicate liver stress, your liver can be fatty without these being elevated yet. But the most crucial, yet often overlooked marker, is your insulin level itself. It's the direct measure of how hard your body is working to manage your blood sugar. When your cells become insulin resistant, your pancreas has to pump out more and more insulin to try and keep your blood glucose in check. This rising insulin is the earliest, most subtle signal that your metabolic health is heading in the wrong direction. You can also calculate something called HOMA-IR, Homeostatic Model Assessment of Insulin Resistance, using your glucose and insulin levels. A lower number, ideally around 1, indicates high insulin sensitivity. As that number climbs, so does your insulin resistance. Understanding these early signs, especially your insulin levels and HOMA-IR, allows you to intervene before you're diagnosed with a fatty liver, before type 2 diabetes sets in, and while it's still relatively easy to reverse the process. Don't wait for your liver to shout for help. By understanding these early indicators and making targeted lifestyle changes, you can proactively protect your liver and your overall health. If you want to dive deeper into understanding your blood work and what these markers mean for your body, you'll find a link to learn more in the description below. To truly master your health by understanding how your body really works, subscribe to our channel, hit that bell icon, and turn on all notifications so you never miss a life-saving video.